All right, holy chevra. I hope everyone's doing fantastic. I'm sorry that I'm not there today, but you will have the chance and you'll have the opportunity to learn individually with me this last section of the Gemara. We are on Kaf Bet Amud Bet in Masechet Megillah. You should have two things open in front of you right now. Number one is your Gemara. Your Gemara should be open to Kaf Bet Amud Bet and following along with me. You also should have open in front of you your packet to the very last page, which has a summary. For this section of the Gemara, this last step of the Gemara, we are not going to have a bit sheet. You don't need to be able to read and translate this section, but I do want you to understand the back and forth. It's not difficult, but it does require you to keep a few steps in your mind, and that's why we're going to actually chart them out step by step to make sure that we understand what's going on. The bid sheet that you finished last time with me was the Tashma, that was the defining proof, which ended with the words Shmamina. Shmamina meant, learn from this, right? The Gemara accepts the proof. The conclusion so far, where we're at in the Gemara, the conclusion of the Gemara is that public fast days have three readers. Three readers. And if you remember, the reason the Gemara gave, was quoting a Braita, was that Chazal were sensitive to people's time. That on a public fast day, davening is very long, so people are already going to be late to work. So the laning, we're going to only make 3 aliyot instead of 4, so that people can get to work on time. That's essentially where we got to in the Gemara. So on your sheet, you'll see it says step 1, Braita number 1. The Braita concludes, you should say the Braita concludes, right? The Braita concludes that fast days equal 3 aliyot. That's where we're at right now. Fast days are 3 aliyot, but not so fast. Along comes step number 2, which is Rav Ashi. Don't worry, we'll get back to this in a second, but let's read it inside first. Look inside your Gemara. Step number 2, Amar Rav Ashi. That's where we are. 5 lines from the top. Rav Ashi said, one second here. Public fast days are 3 readers? Veha anan lotnan hachi. Did we not learn in our Mishnah, Zeha klal? Right? If you remember, the Mishnah said, this is the rule. After it told us which days have 3 readers, right? Mondays, Thursdays, and Shabbos Mincha. And then it said, these are days that have 4 readers, Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed. And it said that directly. Then it said, this is the rule. Kol yom sheyesh bo musaf ve'eno yom tov. Any day that has musaf, right? That has a korban musaf, but is not yom tov, korin arba'a. You read 4, period. That's what the Mishnah said. So the question is, you already told me, the Gemara already told me that the days that are 4 aliyot are Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed. And then it says, this is the rule. Any day that has Musaf, but not Yom Tov, it's not a Yom Tov, you read 4 aliyot. So the Gemara asks, La tuye mai. Well, what does this rule come to include? Meaning, you already taught me Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed, so what bonus day is the Mishnah introducing by sharing this rule with us? So the Gemara assumes, the Mishnah, this is Rav Ashi assuming, Lav le'atuye, does it not come to include Tani Tzibur v'Tisha B'Av? Does it not come to include a public fast day and Tisha B'Av? In other words, think about this. If the Mishnah already said that these are the days where there are 4 aliyot, Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed, if the Mishnah now says, hey, by the way, here is a rule. Any day that is a Yom Tov, that is not a Yom Tov, but you have a Korban Musaf, you read 4. Well, assuming the Mishnah is trying to teach me something new, so what's it coming to include? I'll give you an example. It's like me saying in class, it's like me standing up in front of the room and saying, the winners of the raffle are Rami Beer and Eitan Joel. Okay, those are the winners of the raffle. And then I go, this is the rule. Any person whose initials are RB or EJ can win raffles or won the raffle. So you'd say, well, you already told me that Rami Beer and Eitan Joel won the raffle. So why are you now making a general rule in our class that winners of raffles have the initials RB or EJ? It must be that I'm trying to include other students beyond Rami Beer and Eitan Joel. Otherwise, I'm just wasting words. I already told you who the winners of the raffle are. The fact that I'm making another rule, a general rule, it means that I'm including a different case, a different person maybe. The same thing in our Mishnah. If the Mishnah already gave the examples of days where we have 4 aliyot, Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed, why give me another rule? Right? I say, and here's the rule. What's that coming to include? So if you're adding this step in your notes, this is step number 2, which is Rav Ashi. Rav Ashi is asking a question on this Braita. Our Mishnah said, this is the rule, Zeh HaKlal. Any day that has Musaf, but you are allowed to do work, right? Or I should say, but is not Yom Tov, we have 4 readers. Now, anytime we have Zeh HaKlal, when the Mishnah makes a new rule, it means to add more cases. Again, like my Rami Beer Eitan Joel example. If I'm now saying a general rule, I'm probably trying to include a different person. We already know Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed have 4 aliyot. So what is this Zeh HaKlal coming to include? So the Mishnah, Rav Ashi wants to assume right now, the Gemara wants to assume that the Zeh HaKlal, the rule must be including fast days. That fast days have 4 aliyot. So at this stage now, based on Rav Ashi's question, fast days maybe have 4 aliyot, not 3, 4 aliyot. Wow. Again, our earlier Braita had concluded, because it said explicitly, fast days have 3 aliyot. But based on how Rav Ashi is understanding our Mishnah, the fact that the Mishnah added a bonus rule, Zeh HaKlal, and we already knew that Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed had 4 readers, but now it's adding a new rule about 4 readers. It must be coming to include a new case. That new case of 4 readers, add more cases of 4 aliyot. I'll just add those words over there. Right? This new case must be fast days, and the fast days have 4 aliyot. Very good. But the Gemara is now going to add another step and reject Rav Ashi. How is it going to reject Rav Ashi? By saying the following. We're looking at this. Back in our Gemara, Ula Rav Ashi matnitin mani. 1 second. According to Rav Ashi, who is the author of our Mishnah then? Our Mishnah doesn't fit. What do you mean our Mishnah doesn't fit? Lo Tanakama velo Rabbi Yossi. It doesn't fit the opinion of the Tanakama or the opinion of Rabbi Yossi that's found in the following Braita, which means we're going to see now in a Braita, this will be Braita number 2, 2 opinions, the Tanakama and Rabbi Yossi, and both would not agree with how Rav Ashi understood our Mishnah. So how can Rav Ashi's explanation of our Mishnah be correct if it won't fit either of these opinions found in this Braita? Let's look at this Braita. Ditanya, as we learn in a Braita, this Braita is talking about Tisha B'Av, but we're going to say the same rule applies to fast days. Chal liyot b'sheni uv'chamishi. Chal liyot b'sheni v'chamishi. If Tisha B'Av fell on a Monday or a Thursday, Korin Gimel umaftir echad. We have 3 aliyot, and somebody reads a haftorah. Bashlishi uvarevi'i, if Tisha B'Av fell out on Tuesday or on Wednesday, kore echad umaftir echad. Then we have 1 aliyah and 1 maftir. Wow. Rabbi Yossi argues, Le'olam korin gimel umaftir echad. Rabbi Yossi says it doesn't make a difference what day of the week Tisha B'Av falls on. It's always 3 aliyot and a haftorah. In other words, both the Tanakama and Rabbi Yossi agree that essentially Tisha B'Av and fast days too, if they're included, will have only 3 aliyot. Nobody says that a fast day has 4 aliyot. So Rav Ashi, your understanding of our Mishnah, that the Zeh HaKlal comes to include fast days, that fast days also have 4 aliyot, that's not supported by anybody. It's not supported by the Tanakama, who says you'll either have 3 aliyot or 1 aliyah, and it's not supported by Rabbi Yossi, who says it's always 3 aliyot. So again, you're stuck. You can't explain our Mishnah that fast days get 4 aliyot. So if you're reading it inside, you can check this out over here. Step number 3, which is Breita number 2, it rejects Rav Ashi. It rejects how Rav Ashi understood our Mishnah. This Breita, this Breita number 2, teaches that according to all opinions, fast days have 3 aliyot. All opinions. Maybe I'll write in brackets here. Tanakama and Rabbi Yossi. According to everybody, fast days have 3 aliyot. Rav Ashi's explanation of our Mishnah must be wrong. Therefore, fast days have 3 aliyot. We're back to this Breita also basically supports our first Breita that fast days equal 3 aliyot. But if you're following me, you'll realize there's a question here then. But we're left with a bonus question. What's our bonus question? If the Zeh HaKlal, this bonus rule in our Mishnah, does not include fast days, because now you're saying it couldn't include fast days. Everyone agrees fast days is 3 aliyot. So then what does it include? Meaning, again, the Mishnah isn't just wasting words. You already said Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed have 4 aliyot. Then you say, this is the rule. Days that you have a Korban Musaf, but are not Yom Tov, have 4 aliyot. So what bonus day is that coming to include? It's not including fast days. So what is it coming to include? And that gets to our last step of our Mishnah, of our Gemara, which is explaining our Mishnah. What does the Zeh HaKlal come to include? Let's look inside back in our Gemara. The Gemara says, Ve'ela Kashya. It basically says that question. We're left with one problem. Zeh HaKlal, the expression Zeh HaKlal, the rule, right, from our Mishnah, Lo le'atuye Rosh Chodesh u'Moed, ha'behedjek tane la. Sorry, Zeh HaKlal, this is the rule, Lo le'atuye Rosh Chodesh u'Moed. You know what it's coming to include? It's coming to include Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed. Well, one second. I'm sure you're already asking the question. Ha'behedjek tane la. What do you mean the Zeh HaKlal, that the rule means to include Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed? The Mishnah already said those 2 days explicitly. The Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed have 4 aliyot. Why would I need this is the rule about those days? Again, using our example from before, that's like saying, all right, Rami Beer and Eitan Joel are winners of the raffle. And then I say, this is the rule. Anybody with the initials RB and EJ win the raffle. Who am I coming to include when I said that? Rami Beer and Eitan Joel. Well, dude, you just said that. Why did I have to then make a general rule? I just said the same thing twice. So how can the Zeh HaKlal only include Rosh Chodesh and Chol HaMoed? To which the Gemara answers, and this is our final step, Simana be'alma yahiv. The Zeh HaKlal was only teaching me a sign, or it was teaching me how to understand how Torah reading works. Delo tema, what the Zeh HaKlal was coming to say was trying to avoid a mistake, that I shouldn't make the mistake and think that Yom Tov v'chol shel moed ki hadade ninhu. You shouldn't think that Chol HaMoed is considered the same as Yom Tov, as an actual day of Chag. Ela nekot haiklala biadech. This is the rule you should keep in mind. This is the rule the Mishnah was trying to teach. Kol de tfei le milta mechavre tfei le gavre yatera. Any day any day on the Jewish calendar which has something extra, Tfele Gavri Yatera, it will have an extra aliyah attached to it. Hilchach, therefore, Beroshe Chadashim Umoed, on Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed. This is what the rule is trying to teach me. The Ika Korban Musaf, which had the Korban Musaf, that was a bonus thing that Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed have. It has the Korban Musaf. Korin Arba'a. It gets 4 aliyot, one extra than 3, which is the usual. B'Yom Tov, the Asur Be'asiyah Malacha, on Yom Tov, on Chag, where we're not allowed to do malacha. I can't drive in a car. I can't do malachot. I can't sort things and all sorts of things like that. That's a bonus thing that you're not allowed to do work. Chamisha, therefore, has 5 aliyot. B'Yom Kippurim, on Yom Kippur, de Anosh Karet, where we're more strict, that if you violate Yom Kippur, you get the punishment of karet, which has different meanings what that means. Shisha will have 6 aliyot. And Shabbat, the Ika Isur Skila, Shabbat, which has an even more strict punishment, where if you violate Shabbat with witnesses and were warned and all sorts of things, you could actually be punished with Skila, with stoning. Shiva has 7 aliyot. So in other words, the Zeh Klal was just trying to teach me that this is the rule. It was setting up what the Gemara, what the Mishnah was really going to do, that any day on the Jewish calendar that has something bonus to it gets an extra aliyah. So let's fill in that final step of the Gemara, which is the explanation of our Mishnah. The Gemara explains the Mishnah was not including anything. The Zeh Klal only includes Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed. Then why repeat this? The Mishnah already taught earlier that Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed equals 4. So why did it repeat it? The Gemara answers, so you don't make the mistake and think Chol Hamoed is the same as Yom Tov. Right? Don't think that. Rather, any day that has something extra gets an extra aliyah. Chol Hamoed. I wrote this over here actually. Yom Tov has 5 aliyot. Chol Hamoed only has, Rosh Chodesh only has 4 aliyot. So this is a trickier piece, right? I'm going to actually make this screen a little bit smaller now so you can see all the steps at the same time, right? You can check this out for a second. We started with the first Breita, which concluded that fast days only have 3 aliyot. Then we had Rav Ashi. Well, 1 second. Maybe you could say, because the Mishnah added a rule, this is the rule, about 4 readers, it means to include more than Rosh Chodesh and Chol Hamoed, which were already talked about earlier. Maybe it came to include fast days, and that fast days have 4 aliyot. But we said that can't be. We have another Breita that quotes 2 opinions, the Tanna Kama and Rabbi Yossi, which means all Tanaim agree that fast days have 3 aliyot. You can't say that fast days have 4. So then we were just left with our final question, which is, well then, how do you understand our Mishnah? What was the Zeh Klal coming to teach? What was the bonus rule? So the bonus rule was only teaching me that based on something, any day that has something extra gets an extra aliyah. You should not make the mistake. Chol Hamoed is not the same as Yom Tov. That's what the Mishnah was trying to teach me. So this was a little bit harder of a sugya. That's why I don't want you to focus on a bid sheet, but I want you to understand these 4 steps. So make sure you have these 4 steps copied in your summary section of your packet, and then you can answer the questions on part 4. Great job, guys.